All right, tonight is the initial race where we go into the new penalty system. I think everybody's probably going to like this. I mean, well, the guys that cause a lot of problems might not like it, but I think when you actually think about it, I think you're going to like this, because the way it's going to work is there's not going to be any in-race penalties, so you don't have to worry about coming down pit road and speeding and stuff like that. There are a few things you need to be aware of, though. So the way this new policy is going to work, like again I said, there's no penalties during the race. So bups that are involved in the initial contact of an incident that brings out a yellow flag will be credited with any resulting yellow flag incident, but it's going to be after the race. We're going to tally them up after the race. Those credits will be logged against you for each respective driver in the penalty log. Again, you do not have to pit. You don't have to come down pit road. Don't worry about self-penalizing during the race. Now, the drivers that exceed the allowable number of yellow flag incidents in any 4-race period will be parked, and they will remain parked until their yellow flag incident count no longer exceeds that allowed limit. Now, I think I initially had that set at 3 incidents for 4 races, but I think I changed it to 4. So I think the limit is 4. You can have 4, but you can't go over it. Now, there are 3 exceptions to this. First exception is when a driver self-spins and collects another driver, only the self-spin driver will be held accountable. The second exception is when one driver verbally claims sole responsibility, then the other driver in that case will not be held accountable. Now, also note there will be no debating of who's at fault during the race. If there's any arguments between the 2 involved drivers concerning who's at fault, then both of those drivers are going to automatically receive those credits regardless. The third exception is, this is at the end of the race, if the driver that's in the second position, P2, spins the race leader on the final lap, and that is after the leader has taken the white flag. That is the beginning of the white flag lap. If the P2 driver spins the race leader on the last lap, then the incident will be reviewed after the race by other members. Now, when I say other members, I mean if anybody wants to stick around and take a look at it and help me out. Everybody that sticks around that's not involved in that will get a say-so. Okay, whichever of the 2 drivers is judged by majority to be at fault for that incident will be given a 1-lap penalty and end of line for that lap. So that's how that's going to work. Of course, horseplay and lack of respect for your fellow racer, abusive language, anything that's detrimental to sportsmanship, you will be kicked out of this session immediately. The leader or the pole sitter is responsible for maintaining a steady specified pace speed after we take the 1 to go. Now, the green light is going to determine the initial start of the race. After that, the race leader controls all the restarts, and he can fire any time after the pace car completely exits the track. Penalty for jump starts, if the position is not given back immediately, that will be a post-race 1-lap penalty. The race leader must start and restart the race on the inside front row and does not have lane choice. We're going to allow for a maximum of 3 green, white, checkered restarts. Now, remember, the white flag threshold is approximately at the point where the leader comes off of turn 4, coming to take the white flag. It's not going to be when the leader crosses the line to take the white flag. It's going to be when he's coming out of turn 4, right around that area. black flags that are not related to the initial